Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Ermenkov. I'm a ruling reality coach, and I'm continuing my series, Daily Reality with Alex. Last week, I was on vacation, so I couldn't make my videos because I was relaxing a lot. But I would like to continue the series about reality, and I would like to speak more about reality of relations, ratios, and reciprocity. It is very important to understand these principles, especially in the societies in which we are living today, where everyone is just trying to be equal with each other. We believe in the win-win situations. We believe in the 50-50 business. We believe that in the relationships between man and a woman, a man should be 100% woman and a woman should be 100% man. We are so equal with each others, even to such an extent that the genitals doesn't play any more role in our society. And the so-called male energy and a female energy doesn't matter because there is male and female in each of us. And to an extent, it is true, but in everything that we are distinguishing in reality, we are to think about these three things. Yes, we have of everything, but what is the relation? What is the ratio? And what is the reciprocity based on everything that we are distinguishing? Because anyhow, reality is not a simulation. I'm going to do a specific additional video where I'm going to explain you why reality is actually, from the perspective of the physical matter reality, reality is stimulation. If we don't have this body that is experiencing the 5 data sense reality, and if we don't have all these stimulations that are within our body, we are never going to experience the so-called simulation of the mind, because this is the end point, how we are decoding and what are the perceptions and what are the awarenesses in the mind. They are in a relationship to the stimulation that is put in ourselves. That's why it's very dangerous, at least for me, to go after experiences, to go after specific things in the realm of form, in the realm of the processes, in the realm of the experience, and in the realm of existence, because immediately it means that I am to give my body away for specific stimulations in order my mind to be hooked towards specific simulations. Because what is a desire? What is an intrinsic idea about what I like? Actually, we are saying what stimulations we enjoy. What's the difference between the things we enjoy and the pains we avoid? From the perspective of the body, it's the same signals. The thing is that in the mind, we are creating specific realms where we enjoy some specific stimulations. And of course, because of the way the construct is made in reality, we are biased beings. We are beings of prejudice, and it is made with a specific purpose. We are always going to seek after all the things we call values and virtues because they are engraved in the structure of reality in order all of us to be able to enjoy the stimulation from seeking of good, from desiring love, from all the beautiful things that virtues and values are able to provide to us as human beings. We never ask ourselves questions: why do we enjoy good? Why we pursue happiness? Why we avoid sadness? Why we avoid everything we call negative? And so on and so on. But everything is put basically in the structure of reality, so that reality is always going to promote the so-called virtues. And that's why our ancient relatives have been making these different laws that are constantly trying to guard humanity in a civilizational mode where we are following the structure of reality, and we are to enjoy the virtues and the values of reality. And whenever we as human beings are going into decay modes of moving away from the so-called gods, the so-called universal laws, the so-called structure of reality, and are trying to avoid everything and to be of opposition to the virtues and the values that are a byproduct of what the construct has already laid within us, outside of us. And if we go into this direction, we are going away also from virtues and values, and we are going into decay. So where is the ratio? Where is the relationships? And where is the reciprocity going in all of this? Because in a sense, once we open our eyes, once we are feeling the body, once we get aware about the five senses reality, we immediately start to experience the things. We start to experience everything around us we call the outside reality. And to some extent, it is okay, but immediately, as you see behind me, you are going to see that there is nothing equal to each other in reality, but everything is in relation because everything is connected. If we avoid relations, if we disregard them, we are disregarding the connectedness of everything. And since everything is in relations, always we are to ask ourselves questions when we move through this reality about everything, how it's positioned in relations to everything else that matters for this specific subject, object, personality, or whatever we are observing. Always we are to put it into a perspective, and we are doing it subconsciously anyhow. But once we are aware about the relations, that everything is in relationship. For example, when I am in a relationship with my wife, she is a female being. Of course, if I was in a different scenario, my relationship could be with a male being. But what's the problem between relationship between two male beings and relationship between male and female being? The interesting thing is that anyhow, if we think that we are self-sufficient, and if we think that we are wholeness, alone, disconnected from relationships, it means that we are disregarding the structure of reality where everything is in relations and in different ratios towards each other. So once I am in a relationship with another human being, I'm also completing myself into a new wholeness based on these two beings being in a new unity of relationship between each other. And Alex, is your relationship between you and your wife in total equality? Because this is the new normal. Everything should be equal. You should be the woman, she should be the man, and vice versa. But in reality, what I have found out from more than 20 plus years of living in a relationship is that since I am in a male body, and in me is the seed, and in my wife is the female energy, and in her is the womb that gives the creation of our kids, I feel my power and my strength when I'm aligned with my ratio of a male being with male energy, working and enjoying the role of being a male being. While since even when I'm in the relationship with the female energy, I even stronger feel the necessity of being strongly extracting the male energy from myself and giving in the same time additional space for the female energy within my wife to flourish and to be spread all around me, because in this way unity works perfectly, because then unity is in the specific ratio where the female and the male energy starts to work in co-dependent, but also independent different roles in the social experience in the family. And instead of both of us doing the same things together, always 50-50, when I'm cooking, she is to be cooking also. When I'm doing the dishes, she is to be doing the dishes with me, because this is unity. We are to do everything always together. I have for a lot of time resisted this, because in my thinking, we are strong when we are together, especially from the male part of the thinking, in the intimate relations when we are alone. But when we are during the day, I have my powers in specific areas, she has her power in specific areas, and we are based on our powers and energy spreading our influence simultaneously in different levels of experience and in different impactful ways into the society, and even inside in our relationship with the children. I have always wanted to be with my children, not relative one or relative two, but to show them what is the meaning and purpose of the male energy, while trying to support as much as possible the female energy that is to flourish through my wife. And well, then, Alex, where is the balance? Since it can never be 50-50, because it's a ratio where the male energy is responsible for something and the female energy is responsible for some things. I see that you are from this Asian type of conservative beings that don't like the modern 50-50, the modern equality, and you don't want to embrace your own female energy and to become important being where neither the male, neither female is dominant, because this is the future where we are so self-sufficient that we are never showing either male or female energy. And I'll give you some example about the strength of the male energy, because we are speaking about relations here, and this is the most common relationship through which we are to understand that this relationship is never equal. There is no relationship in reality that is equal. Every relationship is in some type of ratio. The ratio is never 1-to-1. The ratio is always unbalanced, in a sense, in order completion to happen. That's why when we go in this oversimplistic understanding that every one of the human beings are equal to each other, And all of us, it doesn't matter if we are male and female, are equal. And we will always be equal, because this is the important thing, because Alex, the minds, the spirits, the things that are beyond us are equal, though the presentations and the forms are expressed in specific ways where everything in reality is to take its own positioning in order to be able to fully express itself, because this is the reason why we are experiencing this existence. In order to position in such a way that we are able to fully express ourselves, and it depends based on the body in which we are put and based on the role we are to play in this specific experience we call life experience. And of course, some of you can say, well, but Alex, it's very easy for you because you are a male being, you are a successful businessman, and you have taken all the beautiful, wonderful position of society that everyone wants. And now you're just telling us, well, I have taken the best position, and now I have left the rest of the positions for all of you. And in the relationship between the one that is the manager and the workers, the one that is the business person, the company owners, and the different people that are playing different roles in the working class of society. And if you think about the relationship between the owners, the business owners, the managers, and the common workers, maybe the ratio is 95% of society are workers, and not more than 5% of society are or business owners that have much more people working for them, or business owners. I don't know the exact statistic, but for sure the ratio is created in such a way that more of the human beings are workers. Is it bad to be a worker, and is it good to be a business owner? Both of them have specific responsibilities, and both of them are to play their roles of society. If all of us are willing to be workers, and we believe to such an extent in equality that everything is going to be decided from the workers. I specifically am from a former socialist and communist country, so I know the beauty of being in a communist society, but also there are a lot of laws, and basically they are on a managerial and ownership responsibility type of level. Because when everything belongs to all of us, when we are experience 100% equality, all of us starts to back up from our roles, and we are waiting for everyone else to express itself on behalf of all the others. And then societies are becoming passive. We become passive in life because it's not necessary to even try. Because even as much as we try, it is not possible to create this type of movements that are given by the construct of reality, when everything is in relationship, but in specific ratios. And only when we acknowledge, only when we recognize that in every relationship there are ratios of responsibility, ratios from the perspective of activities, ratios from the perspective of the depthness of the impact in everything, then we are understanding the collaboration is based on ratios. If you can imagine, for example, a mechanical watch. I'm trying just to show you a mechanical watch. You can see that in a mechanical watch, there are a lot of different parts. And there is no two parts that are equal to each other. And then we have different parts that are playing their roles, but in order to watch to work, each part. It doesn't matter the distinguishment. It doesn't matter if you are a big part, if you are an important part, if you are a small part. In reality, every little movement creates the biggest possible impact because everything is in co-relationship with each other. In this way, the only thing we are to do is to find out our best positioning for the moment and stop trying to be something else. Stop trying to be our future selves. Stop going into delusions and cheating ourselves and putting strong desires towards becoming something else. But instead, once we realize that the reality is expecting from us just to express ourselves as who we are in this specific given moment, and it doesn't matter the roles we are playing. In the moment, I can play every role in this physical matter reality of stimulation and simulation, because it doesn't matter what is the role. The important thing is how much of this role you and I am able to fulfill from the inside out, and how much are we going to allow ourselves to express into this specific reality. And then the positioning, and then what exactly are we becoming? It's not our job. Our job is only every day in the position we are to be as real as possible, to be as authentic as possible, and to enjoy whatever are the ratios, to enjoy whatever are the relationship. It doesn't matter if in your relationship you are a son or a daughter, you are a mother or a father, you are a relative, or you don't have any children, any family, and you're just a lonely person that is even rejecting the possibility to come into a unity with another person, because it's going to be such a complication for you to start collaborating with another being. All these roles are okay, and it's up to us to decide what type of collaborations and what type of ratios and relations we are willing to experience. And based on this, we are able to lay the fundamentals and to better understand now the reciprocity principle. Just think for the moment why the law of the ancient Egypts, Babylonians, Sumerians, later the Jewish nations, and through the Bible, this law, thou shalt not steal, exist. Because every human being is creating an ecosystem around itself, which it is able to sustain. The moment you are starting and stealing from me, you are taking something out of my ecosystem and putting it into your ecosystem. It is like a foreign agent for you. Long term, it is not sustainable for you, and that's why it's not good for me in my own role to want the Ferrari of the other guy, to want to steal from somebody else, because I want my own ecosystem of having to be as authentic and as in balance with who I am in the moment, in order to be able to enjoy it. If in the moment, all the heaviness, all the riches and wealth of all the human beings are given to me as a responsibility, and I'm the richest person in the world, am I going to be able to sustain these riches? And as you see my surrounding, in the moment, I'm quite okay with who I am and what I have and what I express from myself. But of course, long term, I'm stretching myself for more responsibilities, for more expressions, for more doings, for more activities, for more impact in different areas of reality, not because I want my ego to flourish and all of you just to see me and say, well, this is it. This is what I'm going to desire. I want to be like him. No, what I want to show you is that it is okay for all of us just to express our inner essence of authenticity and to know that long term, nothing matters as much as our own desire to express ourselves authentically instead of trying to create a false reality around us, instead of just trying to pretend to be something else, because in a sense, this is again stealing. I'm stealing a different ecosystem where I'm surrounding with more than what I am in the moment, and I'm presenting this type of image to you, but then I need to sustain it. I need to put more energy. I need to be different when I am before other people, and to be another person when I'm alone, and I'm starting to developing a lot of insecurities, and I start to develop dependency. That's why stealing is one of the virtue that is giving you the example of the relationship, the ratios, and the reciprocity that is important to notice when we are all experiencing our daily reality. And the beautiful thing about existence, and the beautiful thing about being alive, and the beautiful thing about having our breath every moment is that we are allowed to have these experiences in order to observe everything that is beyond, in order to adore why exactly the structures are created like this, instead of trying to complain that everything around us are prisons, that all the limitations around us are not allowing our limitless being to be only limitless, instead of complaining why the distinguishes around us are such and not such, why I'm not like Alex, for example, to have everything that I want, but why I'm put into a specific limitations that I don't like. Instead of going into this direction, when we all understand that limitations will always be around us, that if we look with the eyes of imprisonment of the soul, if we look with the eyes that the construct of reality is not giving us the freedom to express all that we want to express, then we are going into our destination of opposers, our destination of becoming fighters against reality. And we are constantly going to put our powers, our essence, our existence towards trying to become something that will never be allowed to be. It is very important to understand the absolute, to understand the monad, to understand our positioning, because I have heard so much how we the human beings are gods. But from the perspective of relationships, who is the biggest god beyond us? Who is the number one? Does it matter? Who is the king of kings between the human beings? Who is the one that deserves this position? Why everything is hierarchical in reality? Why everything is in order synchronicity, and in order reality to be able to perform and to exist? Why there are boundaries in reality? Everything is created in order all of us to have our own specific places in reality and to start enjoying them instead of trying to be something else. Because we, the human beings, cannot imagine that there are consciousnesses, that there are intellects that are constantly observing and looking at us from their higher dimensional perspective, and everything has its role. And when I'm approaching towards my creator, I understand that there is a relationship, but I also understand that there is a big ratio between the one that created everything and me as a creation. I will never worship the creation. I will never worship the content. I will never bow down to what is not lasting. But everything I'm fascinated from, and all my being is only looking towards the one that is beyond and is holding everything in such a way that we can experience the beauty of existence now. What is going to be, where we are from, it's not for ourselves now to understand and to know. And that's why we are spreading our faith into different directions in order to create the additional missing parts of reality. But let's start with the obvious, because truth is in the obvious, and the obvious is constantly speaking to us through the five senses. And this is all for today. This is all I wanted to share because it is working in me for the last 2-3 weeks. And I just wanted to give you this freedom not to be worried that nothing is equal in reality, and it will never be. We are never, it's never required from us to be something else than what we already are. We are just to enjoy it. So thank you for watching. Enjoy your reality and move forward into more interaction with reality and into more freedom and boldness of expressing yourself as who you are. Bye-bye.